Empower others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well and happy New Year's to you. We have made it to 2026. Happy New Year's. Yes, I am going to go through this the best I can today because I am a little under the weather, but I am glad to be here. And thank God I don't look the way that I feel. So, once again, good morning to you all. Thank you for tuning in to Empowering Others to Excel. I am your host, Jacqueline Jobs. Thank you for those who are tuning in via WMEG. Radio. Thank you for those who are tuning in for Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about how we're going to usher in this new year on a positive note. If you have not followed, subscribe to any of the social media channels, please feel free to do so. So that way you can be updated on any events that are coming up. So once again, good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. Today, our topic is ushering in the new year and leaving the past behind. Ushering in the new year and leaving the past behind. We're talking about intentional release on today. We're going to be releasing what no longer serves us. That is a big plus. Releasing what no longer serves us. We're going to reflect on honesty, face reality, and then we're going to step into the new year with clarity, ownership, and renewed direction. That is our focus for today. That is our topic for today. So hopefully what we're talking about today will just give somebody some clarity or understanding on how they need to move forward in this new year. So I'm hoping that everyone has had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. You enjoy spending time with your family. So right now, let's get into this first topic. This first topic is grounding. Grounding. And what we're going to do for grounding is just we're going to pause and breathe. And I actually need this moment right now. So what we're going to do is pause and breathe. For today, our topic, we're not talking about setting resolutions. We're not trying to discuss setting resolutions for the day. It's about releasing all of the old, gaining clarity and understanding. We're going to release, reflect, and reset. That is what our topic is for today. Our focus is for today. I'm sorry. So first activity is grounding, where we're just going to do a breathing exercise. And for this breathing exercise, we're going to do deep breathing, 3 slow breaths. And the first thing is you're going to take 3 slow breaths. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. All right, so let's do this together. Let's do this together. We're going to breathe in with our nose and hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe out. Let's do it again. Breathe in for 4 seconds. All right, one last time. We're breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 2 seconds, and then breathing out for 6 seconds. Breathe in. All right, so hopefully this technique has just allowed you to allow the calm presence to come in. Now, this is something that you can do when you are rattled, you're disturbed, you're upset, frustrated, you can do this grounding exercise, this deep breathing exercise that just brings a little bit of clarity and a little bit of peace in that moment where you don't have that peace. So I just want you all to practice that during your own time. Now remember, today is talking about releasing, reflecting, and resetting. Now, very quickly, let's discuss releasing, reflecting, and resetting. Release, what are we actually doing when we release? When we release, we're just letting out all of the old frustration, all of the old past experiences, past events that are nagging at us, that are gnawing away at us, that have caused us frustration, pain, hurt. We're releasing all of that, meaning we're going to let it go. We're not going to carry it anymore. Why? Because we have already learned that we do not need to carry things that are not bringing us joy, that are not bringing us peace, that are not adding value to our lives. So we're going to release all of those things that are not bringing us joy, peace, and adding value to our lives. We're going to release those things that are consuming our time, because time is valuable. Time is very precious. And sometimes you lose time and you wish you could make up that time and you can't. You can't go back in time. So once again, we are releasing those things that are not bringing us joy, that are not giving us peace, that are not serving our purpose. They don't fit with our values. They don't fit with our beliefs, our morals. We are releasing them. Those things that are not adding value to our life, we are releasing them. We're going to let them go. We do not want to hold on to them. Because why? In 2026, we're going to find ourselves. We're going to find our peace or enjoy our peace because we found it in 2025 and we're not letting it go. We're looking at those things that we say add value to our life. We're doing more things that are going to bring us joy in 2026. So that is what we are doing. And then after we release, we're going to be reflecting. And when we're reflecting, we're just looking back. We're just looking back on the past. We're saying, yes, past, we acknowledge you. We acknowledge the things that we went through. We acknowledge the things that we experienced. We acknowledge what we have learned. So that is what we're doing. We're reflecting. We're not going back in the past and dwelling on certain issues. We're just going back and acknowledging those things did occur, and we're acknowledging what we learned from those things, or we're actually sitting and thinking, what can we learn from those situations? And then resetting. We're making a plan for our future. We're making a plan for our future as to how we're going to move forward. How we're leaving the past behind, we're moving forward. We're not going back, we're moving ahead. Moving forward. Yes, I was getting ready to sing a song. But yes, we are moving forward. So that is what we're talking about today. So now, reflection. Reflection. Let's do a little dive deep into reflection. Like I stated, when we are reflecting, you're not dwelling on the past. We're not dwelling on the past. The reflection is just to help us to understand what happened in the past with those different situations, those different experiences. The reflection helps us to understand it. It helps us to bring clarity. Hopefully, during a reflection time, you're trying to see it from other people's perspectives, depending upon what the situation is. But that is what we're doing during the reflection time. It's not going, oh, I wish I could have. No, we're just looking back, we're gleaming back, seeing it, understanding it for what it is, seeing what we can learn from it, things that we may have could do differently next time, and then we're moving on. That is what reflection is. So I want you to do this inside of your journal or writing down in your journal prompt. First question, what did this past year teach me? What did this past year teach me? So looking back on 2025, all of your experiences that you have, you experienced in 2025, all the people that you met in 2025, because some of us have created new friendships in 2025. Some of us has lost some friends in 2025. So I want you to stop and think, you got new jobs, new opportunities in 2025. You added on to your family in 2025. You may have lost some family members in 2025. You may have traveled during 2025. So I want you to stop and think, what did this past year teach me? Because there were teachable moments all throughout 2025. So what did you learn in 2025? That is the first question. First question is, what did you learn in 2025? Second question, what did you survive that you no longer need to carry with you in 2026? What did you survive that you no longer need to carry with you in 2026? Think about it. Maybe you were in a traumatic car accident in 2025, and that trauma from that accident is still lingering with you. Stop and think. Every time you think back on that car accident and those feelings rise up, are those feelings serving you? Or do we need to have a renewed mindset now? Yes, we went through the traumatic car accident. Yes, we were injured, we were hurt, we may have lost somebody in the car accident. But now, us dwelling on this car accident, is it going to serve us? Is it going to benefit us in any way? You can keep the memory alive if you lost somebody during that car accident, but it is not going to serve you to continue to rehash or relive that experience. So now it is time for you to say, I'm going to let this go. Yes, it happened. Yes, it wrecked my life. Yes, there were some experiences, some feelings, some emotions that I felt during this time that I wish I hadn't. But guess what? It is not serving me. It's not giving me any purpose. It's not giving me any life. It's not bringing any joy to me for me to keep reliving this. So I'm going to let this thing go. I do not need to carry this. But that is what you need to think back on some other experiences that you have had in your life. Do you need to carry it? You carrying that, what is it doing to you? Is it eating you up? Is it causing you frustration? Is it causing you pain? Is it causing you hurt? Or is it bringing you life? So you need to stop and think, is this something that I need to carry? If it's not something that you need to carry, you need to let it go. Next question. What version of me did this year require? What version of me? Because we all have different versions of ourselves. We all have grown. We have obtained things that we desired. We are reaching new levels. We have set some goals for ourselves and we have obtained them. Some of them we have not. But this version of you in 2025, what did 2025 require of you? Did it require of you to be brave? In 2025, did it require you to let your guard down? In 2025, did you have to start seeing things from other people's perspective and not your own? In 2025, did you have to start actually active listening? What was required of you in 2025? Meaning, what growth did you have to do in 2025? So I want you to think about that. In 2025, did you have to let go of your fears? In 2025, did you have to verbally acknowledge some things that you were dealing with, that you were struggling with? And then you had to set a plan in action to overcome those things. In 2025, did you have to let go of some things that you thought you were going to never let go of? In 2025, did reality hit as far as some things that you have been questioning God about? And you got a full, complete understanding of it. What was required of you in 2025? And then with that question, now what is required of you in 2026? Because once again, we're not going back, we're going forward. We're not going back, we're going forward. And in our process of us going forward, there are things that are required of us. There are some things that are required of us. And I just want to know for you, what are those things? What are those things that are required of you? Because some things, it's amazing. We think we don't need to experience them. We don't need to check them out. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. But yet we do. So I want to know, what are some things that are required of you? So now I want you to pause. I want you to stop it. I want you to think about these things. And while you're thinking about these things, I am checking out something because I just realized we don't have our feed on our channels. So remember, I want you to remember this. The past is a teacher, not a life sentence. The past is a teacher, not a life sentence. The past is a teacher, not a life sentence. So I want you to stop and remember, reflection is about understanding, not reliving. Understanding and not reliving. And we need to know exactly what it is that is going on with us and understand how that came about and was how we can handle those things for the future. That is what we need to know and understand. Okay, so now, good morning to those who are tuning in. I realized for some reason I don't think we were broadcasting, but we're here now. Thank you for those who are tuning in on WMEG. I believe we're all straight on that end. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next topic. For those who are just tuning in, we did a grounding activity where we did some deep breathing to just bring in the calm and the peace. And then we talked about reflection, reflecting on the old year. Now we're going to be discussing release, letting go of what no longer serves you, letting go of what no longer serves you. And this is the main piece. This is the main piece, letting go of what no longer serves you. Because there are a lot of things that we want to hold on to. And it's kind of like just for memory's sake. And when I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking like, I'm going to give this example. My children, they have a lot of toys. Then they get new toys for Christmas. So they have years of toys. And then when you try to go through and clean up the toys, it's like, no, I don't want to let this go. And it's like, why? Because I play with it. When do you play with this? I come and play with it sometimes. So it's like something that you're picking up every once in a while, but then you don't need it. And then if you see it, it's like, oh yeah, let me go play with that. And see, that is what some of us are doing with our life experiences. We're holding on to it when we don't need to because we have created new experiences. We're receiving new experiences daily. But yet it's like every once in a while, our thoughts go back to this and we're holding on to it. And it no longer serves us. It no longer benefits us. It's outdated. But we are so in our flesh, it's like we don't want to let it go because at some point in our life, it served us. It was either a comfort to us, it was a protection for us, it made us feel seen, it made us feel heard, it gave us that respect that we wanted. But now it is no longer serving us. And some of those things that we're holding on to, it's actually hurting us because it was our coping mechanism for when we needed to cope. But now we have grown past that level of needing to cope. We have learned to deal with certain things. We have let certain things go, but yet we're still holding on to that coping mechanism. And so now that coping mechanism is hindering us from actually doing what it is that we need to do. So sometimes we just need to let go. And then that fear of letting go is like, what if I let go of this? And then I need it again because you're fearful thinking you're going to end up back in that same situation or a situation similar to what you had previously experienced. So you're like, if I let go of it, I'm not going to have it when I need it. But see, that's the problem. Our mindset has to change to the point that we're not saying we need this anymore. Our mindset needs to change to the point that we have grown. And so we know that we're not going to go back in that area again. We're not going to go back to that event. We're not going to go back to the point that we have to experience that again. So letting go is a hard task. And people say, you need to release it. And then some of us are looking like, okay, but it's hard. And yes, it is hard because some things you really see it as serving a purpose. And then you're sitting there like, okay, but if I let it go, I'm going to lose it forever. And some things you have to let go forever and let it just be done. So that is one thing about releasing and letting go. People always say, just release it, release it. I'm not one of the people who's saying, you gotta let it go, let it go, let it go. Because it's hard. It is hard. You got to take baby steps when you're releasing. But the whole thing is you have to have a mindset that is encouraging you to release it and let it go. You have to have that mindset. So some examples of some things that we need to release are habits. We have some old habits that we need to release and let go of. Our mindset that we have outgrown, we need to release it and let go of it. Those roles and labels, especially like back in the day, how did people label you? And you were proud that you had that label, like, yeah, that's me. But you have outgrown that label. So like those labels you need to let go of. That those roles, you, for example, being the parent figure for somebody who doesn't need you to be the parent figure of. You need to let go of those things. Excuses that you hide behind. You need to let go of those things. Because all of those excuses are doing is camouflaging what the real problem is. It's keeping you blinded to what is really going on because you're hiding behind those excuses. And then the next thing is relationships. Old relationships that are not serving you, you need to let go of them. Routines, we have some routines that we do. And then we stop and go, why am I doing this? We need to learn to let go of them. And then the fear, oh my goodness, fear that drains you on a daily basis. You need to let go of it. And that is one of the things that I have learned in this past week. I realized that I am going to let go of stress. That's my 2026. I'm just going to let go of stress. Things that cause me stress, I'm letting go of because I am tired of being drained. I'm tired of feeling drained. I'm tired of my life, the energy being sucked out of me. I'm tired of feeling depleted, especially when I'm stressing over things that I can't change. I'm like, why am I allowing this to happen? And stress affects your body so much so that you get sick from being stressed. And it is amazing to me. I have watched myself in 2025 as far as being stressed, being sick. I think a lot of these gray hairs y'all see, my hair is dyed, y'all, but my whole head is practically gray. Why? Due to stress. Due to stress. So I say it's my wisdom because I've learned a whole lot. These grays, I have learned a whole lot. But yes, it's due to stress. Things that you cannot control stresses you. It stresses you. And I'm sitting here this past 2025 and 2024 trying to control things that I could not control. And I'm sitting here trying to say, I'm going to figure out how this is going to work. And I'm going to make this work in my favor. I'm going to try to do this and make it work in my favor. And it's just stressing you because you're trying to do things that should not even be. And you just need to let it go. And for me, it was stressing me. It was taking a toll on my health. But guess what? 2026, I am letting it go. I am letting it go. I am not going to allow things to stress me. Because I'm going to look at it as this. When whatever comes my way, I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, is this serving me? How is it making me feel at this moment? And then how is it making me feel a week from now? Because sometimes we get ourselves into situations and it feels good in that present moment, but then a week from now, you're starting to feel a different way. So I need you to stop and think. And you need to reflect on certain situations. Because for me, yes, I might do something and in that moment, it's like, yes. And then a week later, I'm stressing trying to make it continue. If I got to fight this hard for it, we're not doing it. So I am releasing stress in 2026. I am releasing the fear of the unknown in 2026. Because a lot of things that are coming my way, I just have to step out on faith. I just have to step out on faith and move and do. And at one point, that was hard to do because it's like, what's going to happen next? I need a plan of action. What's going to happen next? But I've learned in 2025 that I cannot be in control of certain situations. God is in control. So me trying to figure it out, dot all the I's, cross all the T's is stressing me out. It's bringing me unnecessary stress that I don't need to experience, that I don't need to have hovering over me and weighing me down. So that is what I am learning about myself. And I know that for 2026, God is in control. God is in control. God is in control. So I am going to let God be in control. I am not going to try to keep putting my hand in it and try to make it work. Nope. God is in control. So I'm allow God to make it work. I am just going to trust God and believe God that the directions that He is giving me or the way that I am going, He's going to continue to guide me. He's going to continue to open those doors for me. He's going to continue to make ways for me. He's going to continue to give me understanding and wisdom so that as I move forward, I'm not moving forward in fear of, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to walk forward saying I am confident in my abilities. And I'm just going to go and accept this opportunity. I'm going to accept where it is that I am headed. And in the process of me doing what it is that I need to do, I'm going to learn and grow as well. So that is letting go, me releasing. So now, what are things that you are going to release? What are things that you have learned about yourself based off of the questions that we just asked previously? And now that you have learned those things about yourself and you understand those things, that what are you going to release and allow to let go of so that you can fully function in your purpose in 2026? Because that's what we want to do in 2026. We want to be walking in our purpose. We want to be able to identify this is my purpose. This is my gift. These are the things that I desire. These are the things that bring me joy. I want to do more of these things. So I want to be able to walk in these things in 2026. So what is it that I'm going to do that's going to help me to accomplish this in 2026? So that is some things that we need to understand. And that leads right into our next topic, which is facing reality. Truth over comfort, facing reality, truth over comfort. And this is one of the things that we need to all understand. Everything is not going to go your way. Everything is not going to go the way you plan. There are going to be stumbling blocks. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be detours in the process. Everything is not going to go your way, but you need to be equipped. You need to be prepared. You need to be knowledgeable on how to handle those stumbling blocks, those detours. You got to make a U-turn, go back and chart another path. How are you going to handle it? Are you just going to give up? Or are you going to fight for what it is that you want? Because we're not in the give up season. That is behind us. We're in the season of we're going to fight for what we want. So if we want our mind to be renewed, guess what? We're going to fight for it. We're not going to allow those negative thoughts to continue to creep into our mind. No, because we're fighting for our mind to be renewed in 2026. So those negative thoughts that come up and that causes us to want to shut down, we're not going to allow them in 2026. We're going to fight for our renewing of minds. Why? Because when your mind is renewed, it is transitioning you. It is placing you in a better space when you renew your mind. Your focus is changing. Your perspective is changing when you renew your mind. You're going to have a lot of aha moments like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, I get it now. When you renew your mind. When you renew your mind, growth is taking place. And these are the things that we need to understand because we cannot continue to think like we used to think. We can't harbor those same emotions that we used to harbor. We can't do that. We have to be able to renew our mind, release the old, allow the new to come in to make us better. Why? Because that is the goal that everybody should have is I want to be better. You might not know how you want to be better, but that is the goal that you should have for the new year. That is the goal you should have, period, in life. Every day is just, I want to be better. I want to be better than the day before. So if yesterday you had a bad day, guess what? Today I want to do better. How can I be better today? So those are the things that you need to be focusing on. Renewing of the mind is just one of those things that is top on the list. And this should be for everybody. Renewing of the mind, facing reality, truth over comfort. What is my current reality, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? And when we're talking about emotionally, what is your current reality emotionally? Talking about your feelings. How are you feeling currently? How are you managing your feelings currently? How are you expressing your feelings currently? That is the reality that we need to face. Because a lot of times we can be emotional people, but then we cannot verbally express how it is we're feeling. We need to be able to connect those dots. I am feeling this way. I need to be able to express it that I am feeling this way because people are not mind readers. We cannot figure out how you're feeling. And sometimes people are acting out in a way, and you're like, okay, but that's not really what they're trying to get across. That's just the way they're acting out. So we need to hit reality, let it reset us. How are we feeling in this moment emotionally, mentally, your thinking process? Right now, where is your thinking process? Are you thinking negatively right now in this moment? Are you thinking positively in this moment? Because just like when they say people got up on the wrong side of the bed, guess what? Those individuals are negatively thinking because one thing went wrong. And so now in their mind, they're thinking about all the other things that are going to go wrong, all the other things that are messed up because that one thing went wrong. We know we need to flip the script. We need to reframe it, change it into a positive. Yes, that one thing went wrong, but guess what? I can do this to combat the one thing that went wrong, and it's going to set everything else back in place. It is not we have to go through the day all messed up because of one thing. So we need to see where we are mentally. We have to have a mental check with ourselves. How am I thinking? Is what I'm thinking going to hinder me? How am I thinking? Is what I'm thinking going to cause harm to myself or others? My reasoning and processing, is the way I'm thinking going to make me to make wrong decisions? You need to stop and think about those things as well. And then the last one is spiritually, reality check. Spiritually, where are you? Where are you? Your sense of purpose, your value, your belief system, where are you? You need to stop and think and try to figure out where are you in this. So those are different things as far as facing reality, truth over comfort. You need to be able to understand or be able to acknowledge where you are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And then you have to stop and ask yourself this question. What role have you played in the area that you are in your life right now? So if you are looking right now, you're watching this right now, you're listening to this right now, and you're unhappy, I need you to stop and ask yourself, what role did you play in this that you're unhappy? If right now you feel as though you're living the good life, I want you to stop and think, what role did you play in this? So right now in your current state of where you are today, wherever you are, sitting in your chair, sitting in your car, laying in your bed, wherever you are, stop and ask yourself, what role did you play in this? So was it, I decided that I was going to give it my all today role, and that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? Is it, I decided that I'm going to let the enemy have at me today, and that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? Is it, I decided to let my emotions run wild today, and that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? Did I decide to let the thoughts and the cares of other people weigh me down, and that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? Did I speak life to myself? So I'm feeling real good today. Is that why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? So I want you to stop and think, what role did you play in the area of your life that you're in right now? And now I want you to think, what excuses can I no longer use? What excuses can I no longer use? Excuse number one, I always been like that. You can't use that anymore because you're changed. You're different. You've grown. So you can't use that excuse anymore. Excuse number two, they don't care anyway. You can't use that excuse anymore because you have had several people who have expressed that they care. But you're so used to saying that and you're so used to believing that because that's what you experienced in the past, that that's what you're going to stick with. But you can't use that experience anymore. You can't use that excuse anymore. Another excuse. I'm not going to keep this job for long anyway because I didn't never keep any of my other jobs for long. Guess what? You're a changed person. You're a changed person. So you can't use that excuse anymore. And then we need to be careful about what we say out of our mouths. There is life and death in the power of the tongue. And people don't understand that. And they're like, okay, I could say this. That don't mean anything. It does mean things because once you start speaking it, so shall it be. And they're still like, what? You're talking in riddle. No, it's just basically how it is. Just like, for example, I'm coming down with a cold. I am coming down with a cold. And it's amazing to me, just off topic real quick. Kids got sick before Christmas break. Husband got sick during Christmas. I survived all of that. And now here we are into the new year. And now I am getting sick. But if I just walk around, woe is me, I feel horrible. My body hurt. If I start speaking all of these things before it actually happens, guess what? I am succumbing. And my body's like, all right, the nerve signals are going on. She's accepting this. So let it be. You're like, that's not how it works. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because have you ever experienced how you might be feeling bad in the morning, but if you go to work and you're pushing through at work, and it's like, oh, I almost forgot I was sick. But then once you come home and you relax, all of those it just hit you all at once. Why is that? Because you were fighting, your body was fighting, your mind was fighting, like, I got to get through this day, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. But once you relaxed, your mind was like, oh, your body was like, all right, she's relaxed, go at it. So I need you to understand. What you say, it shall be. So you need to start speaking positively about the things that you want for yourself. You need to speak life over those situations. I can obtain this. I will obtain this. And yes, I already know that my body has some germ in it. I know that. But I'm not going to sit here and just succumb to and let this germ wreak havoc all over my body. That's not what we're doing. No, because I'm going to fight this thing. So that is what we need to do. We need to be able to fight and not allow situations to wreak havoc in our lives. So that is one of the points. So letting go removes excuses and it introduces responsibilities and opportunities. Letting go removes excuses and it introduces responsibilities and opportunities. Now, moving forward, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? That is a question I want you to stop and ask yourself. Who are you becoming? Who do you want to become? Do you want to become a confident person? Do you want to become a person who walks in confidence, not in fear? A person who can walk into a room and command respect just by your appearance and your presence alone, not by the words that come out of your mouth? Are you someone who wants to become that person who can share freely with others how they are feeling without becoming too overly emotional? Are you somebody who wants to be able to obtain great wealth? And so you're seeking out different financial avenues on how you can do that. Who are you becoming? What do you want to become? I just want, for me, when I stop and I think about this question of who it is that I am becoming, I'll stop and I'm thinking of what things do I desire for myself? And it will trickle over to my family. But what things do I desire for myself? So, for example, for me, I desire for my businesses, which are a part of me, to be able to be a blessing to other people. So, what does that mean then? So, that means who am I becoming? For empowering others to excel, I am becoming that life coach that can reach the masses, that person who people can come to as far as being held accountable. People can come and they can receive information, they can gain clarity based off of what it is that I'm saying. So that is who I am becoming. I am becoming the motivator. I am becoming the encourager. I am becoming the one who can inspire, who can uplift you. That is who I am becoming. And then the thing about it is, when I become this individual is not restricted to one area of my life. What I am becoming is not restricted to one area of my life. It is going to manifest itself in all areas of my life. Because in order for me to become this individual, there has to be confidence. So where I am lacking confidence, I have to gain confidence. There has to be a high self-esteem. So where my self-esteem is low, guess what? I have to put in the work to build up my self-esteem. So once you identify who you are becoming, it is going to touch every area of your life. Because for me, if I want to be this person who's able to motivate, encourage, uplift, and I want to be able to go into these rooms, I have to be in good health. So in order for me to be in good health, what does that mean? I have to take care of my body. See how it is touching every area of your life. So the person that you're becoming, once you state what it is or who it is that you want to become, it is going to manifest itself and it's going to touch every area of your life. So it's not going to be just like this one-sided thing where you're saying, I want to become this. And it's just going to be just that one spot. Nope, it's going to touch your entire life. So once again, good morning, good morning. So once again, I want you to stop and think, who am I becoming? Identify what truly fulfills you. What are you good at? What are your strengths? What things make you happy? What are some things that you can do that is going to bring you joy, is going to bring you fulfillment, is going to touch on some of those desires that you want? Who are you becoming? And then I want you to stop and think, when you become this person, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel? What growth do you need to obtain in order to become this person? What peace do you need to obtain to become this person? Because like I said, for me, in order for me to become the person that I want to be, the boost of confidence has to rise. My stature, as far as me commanding a room, has to rise. My health, I have to attend to my health and make it better. Because if I'm planning on moving, going, this, that, I have to be in good health. I have to be in good health. Because you can't show up looking one way and trying to pour into other individuals. You need to be able to show up in your full area of who you are. So that means the look has to match what it is that you are giving out. So I can't go into a room and want to be able to uplift, motivate, encourage people, and I'm broken down. Because they're going to be looking at me like, okay, you're trying to tell us this, but you look like this. So no. So in order for me to be able to become that individual, I have to do some things. I have to put in the work. And when I put in the work, that work is going to touch every area of my life. It's going to touch the physical, it's going to touch the mental, emotional, spiritual, financial. It's going to touch all of the areas in my life because they all have to align together. They all have to align together because why? It's me. It's a part of me. It's what makes me. So you have to think about that. Just like your body parts, they all work together to perform functions. You need the nervous system, you need the brain to talk to the hands and the muscles to make the fingers move. So everything that I just said is part of me. So I need all of those things to work in my favor to become the person that I want to become. So I need you to stop and think. Who is it that you want to become? What things do you need? What things do you need aligning up with? Or what things do you need to align up with the person that you're becoming? So if you were to write this down on a piece of paper, at the top of the paper, you would write the person I am becoming. Write it out. After you write it out, what things do I need to fall in line? And then you're going to list those things. So emotionally, what things do you need to fall in line? Mentally, what things do you need to fall in line? Spiritually, same thing. Physically, same thing. Financially, same thing. Write it out. And then go back and look at it because why? This is who you are becoming. So that means these are the things that you need to work on, that you need to focus on to get it to you to where you want to be. And then also you need to stop and think, what values do you have? What values do you have? Because this is the thing in 2026, because now we're focusing on bettering ourselves. We're focusing on bettering ourselves. There are going to be opportunities that are going to come our way. And some of these opportunities are going to sound really good. But in the process of it, that individual who is giving you the opportunity is going to say, you can get this, but you have to leave this part of you behind. So basically, they're bargaining with you because they see your potential. They see what it is that you have, but they're just trying to shut down a part of you. So for example, I can say this. Somebody comes to you, they're offering you this opportunity, but they say, you can have this. I'm going to use me for example. You can have this life coaching platform in my building or under my organization, but you can't talk about God. Question, what are you going to do? Now, this is the thing for me. This is who I am, but I understand you have to understand some things. When I go into a business aspect of life coaching, they have the option of saying, we want Christian life coaching or we just want basic life coaching. So it's like, okay, you tell me which one it is. But yet, while I'm in there doing the basic life coaching, I'm not going to be speaking things that are against my values and my beliefs. So that is what you have to understand when you go into these different arenas or you have these different opportunities that come your way. You have to make sure that you are not rejecting you just because something sounds good. You have to make sure that it aligns up with your values, it aligns with your morals, it aligns with your beliefs. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to go home and then be like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have taken that. I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have went to this event. Because now you're feeling convicted in your spirit. That is not what you want. So I need you to stop and think. Because all opportunities are not good opportunities. All money's not good money. All people are not good people. Everything that we do in life, we have to sit and we have to evaluate it. We have to dissect it to see if it's something that is going to be beneficial for us. Because a lot of times it sounds good. It sounds good. It looks good. But then once you're in that atmosphere and it's like, oh my goodness, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And in that moment, you have to figure out what it is that you are going to do. Because you're becoming somebody. You're creating your identity. You're improving on your identity. So in the process of you becoming that individual, improving on your identity, what things are you going to allow? What things are you going to allow? And what things are non-negotiables? You need to be able to identify that. Have those non-negotiables already written out. So that way, if someone comes, this is a no, this is a no, this is a no. I'm not having it. And that means you're standing on your values and your beliefs. And while I'm talking, this is giving me a little flashback to when I first started dating. A little flashback, first dating, first boyfriend. And I had gave him a paper, and on the paper, I had non-negotiable. At that time, I didn't know anything about non-negotiables. I never knew what non-negotiable was at that time. I was what, a junior in high school. I didn't know no non-negotiable. But I knew who I was at that moment, and I knew the things that I was not willing to do dating this guy. So I had on there what I would not do, and he should not expect them from me. And he had to agree to those things before we started dating. And and at that age, for people, they're probably like, "What? Yeah, that's what I did. First boyfriend." Because I was like, "I'm sorry." Back in the day, we had the fire and brimstone churches. They scared you. They scared you. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not having sex before I'm married. I'm not doing. Oh, so on the paper, he knew exactly. I'm not having sex before I'm married. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And he had to agree to all of these things before we started dating. And the thing about it was, he agreed to them and he respected them. So that is what we need for our future as we are becoming the person that we want to become. Those people who we allow into our space have to agree to our non-negotiables. They have to agree to those non-negotiables and they have to respect them. So it's not oh, you agreed to it, but then later on, you're going to throw that non-negotiable in my face and say, oh, but this, no, you have to agree and you have to respect the non-negotiables. This is what it is. It's not going to change. And you need to understand that. And if you cannot understand that, guess what? You're not a right fit for me. That is what needs to be going on. And a lot of people need to be having these conversations. This goes down to young people as well as grown adults. They need to have their list of non-negotiables. Whatever you're going into, relationships, jobs, whatever it is. And you need to be holding on to those non-negotiables. This is what I can offer you. This is what I cannot offer you. And you need to accept it or we're moving on. So that is just something that I need you to think about. What are your values? What values are going to guide you in your life? And then you have to be consistent with it. You have to be consistent with it. It is no point setting up non-negotiables if you're going to waver and you're going to continue to give in on your non-negotiables. Then guess what? They're not non-negotiables. They're negotiables. They can negotiate with you how you're going to work on your values and your beliefs. And that is not what we want. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent in your life. Consistency is key. People say it all the time. What does that mean? You need to build a pattern of consistency and you need to stick to it. So if this is something that I am not going to do, I am not willing to sacrifice this because I know that if I sacrifice this, I'm going to lose my joy, my peace, my happiness. Everything is going to fall apart if I sacrifice this. So no, I can't do it. You're not taking my joy. You're not taking my peace. In 2026, we want to walk in our full purpose. We want to walk in that full purpose. And in order for us to walk in that full purpose, we need to identify who it is we are becoming. We need to be able to identify those things that are going to benefit us, those things that are going to help us move forward, those things that in our life that we need to align up. They need to align. They need to fit and they need to be able to connect together. Why? Because once they connect all together, it's benefiting who? The person that you are becoming. So you need to understand that. And then you need to have those non-negotiables and you need to be consistent with those non-negotiables. So what I want you to do before we end this segment, I want you to identify one thing that you're going to stop doing. Identify one thing that you're going to stop doing. Identify one thing that you're going to start doing. It could be speaking up for yourself. Start doing it. One boundary you will protect, non-negotiable. One boundary you will protect. What is it? So I want you to think about it, write it down, put it somewhere. One thing I'm going to stop doing. I'm going to stop using these excuses as a crutch. One thing I'm going to start doing. I'm going to respect myself more. I'm going to speak up for myself more. I'm going to actively listen when I'm having conversations. One boundary you will protect. I love God, and that's it. So don't come at me with any other mess. If it does not align with that, I cannot help you. Figure it out. Make your list. Growth happens during daily choices. So what are your choices going to be? Growth happens during daily choices. What are your choices going to be? Remember, in this season, we are releasing what no longer benefits us. We are letting it go. We're not holding on to it. We're identifying the person that we are becoming, and we are going to move forward. So I want you all just to remember that. And for those who tuned in today, I thank you for tuning in. I thank my WMEG listeners, Facebook, YouTube, all social media platforms. I thank you for tuning in today. I pray that you receive something from this segment, that it was able to jumpstart you into your new year. Hopefully it was able to jumpstart you into your new year, because that is all I want for you, is to get you jumpstarted, and that way you can move forward and you can be prosperous throughout this new year. Please continue to join me every Saturday at 9 o'clock. I will be here to inspire you, uplift you, motivate, encourage you. I will be your accountability partner. Thank you once again for those who have partnered with Empowering Others to Excel. If you would like to partner with Empowering Others to Excel, right now you can do so through CashApp, which is EOE Change Agent. Why? Because we're change agents. So EOE Change Agent. Yet again, I thank you for all those who tuned in, and I pray that you will be blessed by this session and everything else that has transpired over today. And I pray that you will have a blessed 2026, y'all. We are in the new year. We're in the new year. This new year is going to go by so quickly, just like last year. So I want y'all to get yourselves together so we can go through this together at the end of the year. We can come out and tell our stories of how we became that person and how we obtained those things that we wanted to obtain. So yet again, I just thank you all for tuning in, and be blessed on today.
Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline.